This presentation is for information purposes only. It is intended to represent events
with no downtime
as they occurred on April 5th, 2010, and also to introduce the viewer to the terms and concepts of longwall mining, many of which are used extensively throughout MSHA's accident report. The presentation will provide a broad overview of MSHA's conclusions as to the causes of this tragedy. The events depicted in this animation are being recreated from information gathered during the investigation from various records, interviews, analysis of evidence, and the knowledge and experience of investigators. At approximately 6:40 a.m. on April 5th, the day shift longwall crew arrived on the Headgate 1 North longwall section. They parked their rail-mounted man trip
with no downtime
at the out-by end of the mule train and walked up the headgate entries to the face. They found that the third shift maintenance crew had left the shearer parked at about number 34 shield. The crew began producing coal
with no downtime
and made their first call out at 7:30 a.m.
with no downtime.
The crew was responsible to call out their total shift production every 30 minutes. They also called out
downtime
and the location of the shearer. They reported the longwall was running and had mined .2 passes
with no downtime.
The shearer was at number 70 shield mining toward the tailgate. At 8 a.m., they reported .6 passes
with no downtime.
The shearer was at number 140 shield mining toward the tailgate. At 8:30 a.m., the longwall reported .8 passes
with no downtime,
and that the shearer was on the tail in the shuffle process. The shuffle is the term used at this mine for the process of cutting back into the coal face
with no downtime
on each end of the longwall. At 9 a.m., the longwall reported 1 pass
with no downtime,
and that the shearer was at the number 155 shield mining toward the headgate. At 9:30 a.m., the longwall reported 1.4 passes
with no downtime,
and that the shearer was at number 65 shield mining toward the headgate. At 10 a.m., the longwall reported 1.8 passes
with no downtime,
and that the shearer was on the headgate. At 10:30 a.m., the longwall reported 2 passes
with no downtime,
and that the shearer was on the headgate getting ready to replace bits. MSHA believes that after cutting the shuffle, the crew parked the shearer
with no downtime
to replace bits. While setting bits, the longwall crew discovered a B-lock,
with no downtime.
A part of a pin that connects the ranging arm to the shearer was missing. At 11 a.m., the longwall reported that 25 bits were set in the shearer
with no downtime,
and that the shearer was down due to a lost B-lock on the tail ranging arm. The crew estimated that they would be down until approximately noon.
with no downtime.
At 1:30 p.m., they reported that the B-lock was in
with no downtime,
and they were tightening the bolts. They estimated they would be running
with no downtime.
at 1:45 p.m. Between 1:30 and 2 p.m., the longwall started running. The 2 p.m. report shows 2.2 passes of production for the shift, indicating they had loaded .2 passes
with no downtime,
between 1:30 and 2 p.m. The report also showed
10 minutes of downtime
in this period checking the B lock. The shearer was at number 65 shield, mining toward the tailgate. The 2:30 p.m. report showed 2.4 passes,
2 minutes downtime
checking the B lock, and that the shearer was at number 115 shield, mining toward the tailgate. The pre-shift examination record shows that the longwall foreman called out the results of his pre-shift exam
with no downtime.
at 2:40 p.m. to the oncoming longwall foreman. This is the last known communication from the longwall to the surface. During the investigation of the longwall, methane was found to be emanating from the mine floor near the back of several shields
With no downtime.
near the tailgate end of the longwall face. Investigators believe the methane migrated from behind the longwall shields.
With no downtime.
The methane encountered an ignition source, likely hot streaks left by two dull, worn shearer bits cutting sandstone. Additionally, the water spray system was effectively absent because 7 water sprays were missing from the tailgate drum of the shearer. MSHA believes that as the shearer cut into the tailgate entry,
With no downtime.
a methane ignition occurred
With no downtime.
and was seen by the shearer operators who shut off the shearer.
With no downtime.
The electronically recorded event log on the shearer indicated that the tail shearer operator shut off the shearer with his remote control.
With no downtime.
The flame from this ignition continued burning behind the shields. Upon realizing that the ignition could not be controlled,
With no downtime.
the shearer operators, shield man, and longwall utility man evacuated.
With no downtime.
Investigators believe that these individuals shut off the face conveyor at the control box near the tail end of the face,
With no downtime.
called the headgate operator, and
With no downtime.
instructed him to de-energize the shearer. The headgate operator opened the visible disconnect for the shearer cable
With no downtime.
and also shut off the water to the shearer.
With no downtime.
During this
Downtime.
flame from the methane ignition continued burning in the gob behind the shields, and those miners continued their evacuation.
With no downtime.
At about 3:02 p.m., the flames encountered an explosive mixture of methane in the tailgate entry, causing an explosion. This methane explosion involved about 3,000 cubic feet of methane air mixture. The flame from this methane explosion created enough heat and energy to suspend and ignite coal dust from the mine roof, ribs, and floor,
With no downtime.
resulting in a massive coal dust explosion.